good, y'all? It's your boy Humble Success, YBG Mr. Real Talk. Hope y'all are having a blessed day. And we are back with another video. This video is going to be very informative and it's going to be speaking on drugs and alcohol usage. What is my opinion on weed, taking in alcohol, and all these kind of things? What's my opinion on that? To me, I feel like it's slowing you down. Weed does nothing but slows down your thinking process in order for you guys to make right decisions. A lot of people who smoke weed, I want you to check their lifestyle. What are they doing on their free time? What have you ever seen any successful person who is building themselves? Have you ever seen anybody who is building themselves up be smoking weed? And I'm not talking about these rappers and all these kind of people, because there's a lot of rappers who smoke weed. There's a lot of successful people who smoke weed. But my opinion on weed is that it slows down certain people. Check a lot of people's lifestyle, people who smoke weed, people who do all these kind of drugs and stuff like this. Check what kind of lifestyle they're living. Check the quality of their life. I'm not going to sit here and say everybody who smokes weed is terrible. They don't know what they're doing. Nothing goes right for them. But what I'm going to say is that majority of people who smoke weed, drink alcohol, and all these kind of things, check the kind of lifestyle they have. Weed is definitely not good for your brain. A lot of people who are still developing mentally, growing up, who are smoking weed are slowing down their thinking process. They're slowing down what they have. And I'm not gonna sit here and and just be like, oh, everybody who smokes weed is bad for their health, this, and they don't know what they're doing with their lives. But weed is certainly slowing down a lot of people. That's one of my boys. I think he's gonna say, hey, what's up? Did he see me? No, he didn't see me. Weed is definitely slowing down a lot of people from succeeding. How's this for an example? There's a lot of you guys, a lot of you girls, still in your mom's basement, play video games every day. You don't have a job. You have no ambition. You watch porn. You don't want to grow mentally. You smoke weed, drink alcohol. I'll tell you this right now, alcohol affects muscle growth. So if you're a guy who wants to grow muscle, you want to build mass, you want to build that physique you've been talking about, alcohol and smoking weed is not good for you. A lot of people who smoke weed either get super skinny or they get super fat. What I'm trying to say here is that you should never use a drug as an enhancement to do something. There's definitely a lot of people who be like, oh, when I smoke weed, I'm more relaxed, I'm more chill. That's bullshit, bro. You're just coming up with an excuse to indulge in a addiction. You're just trying to indulge in more addictions. Like, you're giving yourself an excuse to use drugs. Why do you think this drug was illegal a couple of years ago? Because it's actually a bad thing for you. It's literally scientifically proven to slow down your brain growth when you're under the age of 25. As men, you do know your brain fully develops at 25. There's a lot. You think you know everything right now. You think you understand everything. You think the way you're thinking right now is the way you think 5 or 10 years from now. I'll tell you this right now. The way you're thinking right now, it's going to change. Not necessarily completely, but the way you're thinking is going to somewhat change. There's always a change. I feel like people who don't want to accept that don't want to grow. Because you're always growing. Every day is always a day to learn. Right now is the age you're supposed to be processing information, absorbing information for yourself and growing with that information. Not taking drugs and lacking, forgetting, having brain fog, having paranoia. These are all symptoms of smoking weed. And alcohol is no better, because there's people who indulge in alcohol and don't know how to control themselves. Me and one of my coworkers had this conversation, and he said there's such thing as generational curses. This is why you just avoid drugs, you avoid alcohol, you avoid all these things. And I'm not saying don't drink wine on special occasions. Like, you could be at a wedding, you could be at a special dinner, and then you have to drink wine. You don't have to, but you'd want to drink wine because you're eating a fancy steak or some shit like that. Those are exceptions. But I'm talking about indulging in vodka and taking all these crazy excessive alcohol use. The only thing you're doing to yourself is you're killing your liver. That's why I don't understand people who smoke, who what's it called, take drugs or any sort. Because you're putting yourself in the you're giving yourself an opportunity to get addicted, to have an addiction, and I believe you're just you're just screwing yourself over. If I was someone still in my developing phase, I would focus on the process it takes for me to get to where I want to be. I'd focus on each and every step. Me, I've already planned what I'm doing in 2025. I already have my whole year for next year planned. And I know a lot of you guys are just waiting for that January 1st to say, New Year, new me. You guys stay consistent for like a week, then I'll just try again next year. I know that sounds like, very similar to a lot of you guys' stories. A lot of you guys have the same. You guys can recognize what I'm saying because a lot of you guys do that. And if you guys are one of the people who do that, I ask for you guys to stop it. You know, in order to grow, it comes with a change of mind. In order for you to have that change of mind, you have to stop taking drugs, put the weed away, put the alcohol away, and lock in. Like I said in my previous video, right now is the winter arc. You have no time for you guys to be smoking weed. Oh, you only live once, you only do this. Bro, shut the hell up and just focus on locking in. Life is all about the value you can give to people. Ask yourself, what value are you giving to anybody by smoking weed, drinking alcohol? There's people who drink alcohol every night. Right before they go to bed, they drink alcohol like it's water, religiously. Like, this is what I'm trying to say. And then you guys are curious and confused why you have a stomach, you have a gut that looks like it's about to explode. You're confused that you're fat. And that's just the truth. Like, if I'm being honest, people who take drugs, do all these kind of things, they always look out of shape, either skinny fat or skinny fat, both. I'm not here to insult people, but weed is definitely slowing down your thinking process. Instead of you working on yourself, working on your growth, you're eating nonsense, you're smoking weed, drinking alcohol. Because a lot of people, when they smoke weed, they get the munchies. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about the munchies, but they believe that they need to start eating a lot, and that's why you're either fat or you're skinny. It's something that weed does to you physically that makes you lose a lot of weight too. I've seen a lot of people who smoke crazy amounts of weed, like early in the morning they're smoking weed right before they eat breakfast, and then you see their physique, they're skinny. It's killing them slowly. You're destroying your lungs. If someone told me, hey, here's this thing, you can use it, but it's gonna kill you slowly, it's gonna fuck up your lungs slowly, I don't see the logic in doing it. I've smoked weed before. It had no positive impact in my life, so I stopped. There was no need for me to be smoking and inhaling nonsense. Breathe oxygen, nigga. And yeah, I made that decision. I think one time on my 20th birthday, I had tobacco, and that shit tasted like ass, so I just decided to throw that shit away. And that's the last time I would ever smoke. I don't believe there's ever a reason for me to inhale garbage like that. I have plans, I have goals that need to be fulfilled. And in order for me to fulfill that, I have to be in the right state of mind. If I need to absorb all this information, why would I limit myself by taking drugs? ruining my thinking process, my memory. It also ruins your ability to memorize things. Why is this guy closing his door back and forth? You know, and these are very important if you're trying to grow as an individual. You need to focus on building your memorization, your skills to learn and absorb information. That's how you grow in society, because you have to be able to remember things. So to anybody who smokes weed, takes alcohol, I'm going to tell you this right now: stop it, put it aside. Alcohol is ruining a lot of homes. Weed is killing a lot of homes. Believe it or not, it kills the drive in a man and a woman. It kills their drive 100%. you know People who smoke kills your drive. And as for alcohol, back to what I said about the generational curses, think about it this way: your ancestors, let's say they had troubles with what's it called, alcohol addiction. It gets passed down, and you don't understand how it does, but it's a spiritual thing. And for me, I believe in those kind of things, because it is true. Like, spirits get passed down from generations. They destroy one person, then move on to the next person. This is why you gotta really pray about all these kind of things. You gotta take these kind of things serious. you know a lot of you guys may not agree with that, because you're not necessarily a Christian like I am. But from what I'm trying to say is that these are generational curses. It's more spiritual than it is physical. And I want you guys to avoid all these negative drugs intakes. Stop going to parties. Just like how I spoke about how to beat porn. What are your triggers? What would make you smoke? What would make you drink alcohol? Maybe it's the friends you're hanging out with. Maybe you gotta avoid them for a week. You gotta avoid them for a couple months. Put yourself in a position to grow. Put yourself around people who want to develop themselves. That's not hard. You just gotta network. You gotta go to business conferences. You gotta put yourself out there. There's something about applying yourself and putting yourself away from trouble, away from things that kill a man's drive to become successful. You know, if you're smoking weed, you're taking alcohol, throw it away, put it aside, lock in. Winter is here, man. That's all I gotta say for you guys. Humble success. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Stay true to yourselves. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're new to this channel. Appreciate all the support always. Easy. Gang.